your men in black. Surrey underway and wins the tip. Lawrence, their prize signing of the season, has been a revelation, and Surrey has been the talk of the town in the SLB with an opportunity to move up to highest third with the victory here on the road. And Wanko unable to finish, but there is a goaltending as someone I believe it was an offensive goaltending as one of the Surrey players interfered with the basket there on that attempt.
Yeah, good spot there.
Here are your Newcastle Eagles, looking to get their season back on track as the Caledonia Gladiators are beginning to breathe down their neck as they sit in 8th as Cole Long unable to stretch it out from the top of the key.
Yeah, and you don't want to let him get a few of those off early because those are definitely shots that Cole can knock down.
And Surrey for the Newcastle Eagles, how do they handle this three-headed monster of Lilly Jr., Polite III, and Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, the guards have a tall task today, not getting into foul trouble, ball pressure especially.
Well, that's the way you do it right there, is turning them over and getting off in transition, where the Newcastle Eagles are the best in the league in the fast break.
Yeah, ball pressure is going to continue to do that so Eagles can play at their best style of basketball, which is out in the open court in transition.
Here's Lawrence. Matched up with Cole Long, one of the better underrated defenders in the SLB. Forces it to his left, and that's fantastic defense by Newcastle.
Yeah, great defense there. Great discipline not to foul. Shorter rotation tonight. They've got to really pay attention to that.
Here's Jack, get into his midi. Can't finish. Great box out there by Lawrence. Dumping inside, going back to the young fella, faded off. And this is when Surrey at their best. #1 in offensive rebounds.
Yeah, they're so lengthy, so aggressive for the ball.
Well, Newcastle 2-0 as both teams a little bit shy out the gate offensively as they go inside to Cole Long, who finishes things off.
Yeah, that's great vision there from Mitch Clark.
Polite III. Nice little skip pass. Great pass in that Wanko, who finishes it off. And Surrey gets themselves on the board.
Yeah, and that's a tough one where you've got Nwanko into the basket, but you've got Isaiah Small out on the three-point line. You have to go out to it. He can knock those down, so decisions have to be made from Newcastle defensively.
And there is the guy who was on our Star Watch, Rayshawn Taylor. And what has stood out to you about his game?
You know, I think something that's underrated about him is his ability to get to the free throw line. I think that he doesn't use that asset quite enough. You know, I think that he has a really good ability to get downhill, and he's got great court vision. He knows how to facilitate, similar to how Terrell Burden does. And I think that moving him off into the 2 spot, I think he could call his number more often to go ahead and get to the foul line. I think you see him do it down the stretch of games quite often. But, you know, seeing him get there early on in this game hopefully is a good sign that he's going to be aggressive and have his head down to be getting to the rim.
84% on the season, top 10 in the SLB. And misses both, something we don't see often. Well, Eagles coming up empty on that possession. Here's Surrey. Do a great job of moving the basketball, leading the league in assists. Well, 7 seconds remains on the shot clock, and it'll be a baseline out of bounds here for Surrey. Here's Lilly. Great dump inside. Shot clock running low. Polite fades off. Gets the lovely bounce.
Yeah, friendly roll went for him there.
Equals things here in Virtue Motors Arena. Surrey Probably one of the hottest starts in a number of years as Maceo Jack able to muscle himself inside.
Yeah, and that's what Maceo's so good at doing. He knows how to see that when it's back to the basket time or when it's time to pull it out and hit that little fadeaway.
Great pocket pass to the young fella. Comes up empty on that possession, but again, Surrey get another opportunity. Hammond gets his hands on it. Cole Long. But again, Surrey get another opportunity. Hammond gets his hands on it. Cole Long for the touchdown and finishes it.
Yeah, that's a great pass there from Hammond. Great awareness, good run from Cole. That's what you want from guys that are good transition teams, to see that the steal is coming, get out ahead and be able to get that bucket.
Well, so far you're able to see both teams' identity here from the gate. Surrey with a couple of offensive rebounds, and Newcastle doing what they do best, which is getting out into transition.
Yeah, and I think, as you mentioned, you know, that three-headed monster of Lilly Jr., Polite III, and Lawrence, you know, those three guards require a lot of ball pressure, and especially starting with this five that they've got, not really a true big out there right now, so small is who they're going to. Maceo draws a foul out there, but I think Eagles are playing their defense well with the lineup that they've got out there to exploit the mismatches they have.
Yeah, that's a great point, because Conway has been starting for pretty much most of the season, and Eagles deciding to go small. And let's see the coaching battle here as Cholovinskis looks to exit in. Here's Taylor. Sizes up, strings it. Just so smooth.
Yeah, that's a great shot from him. He shoots with such confidence, such poise. I think there are moments when you see the ball come off his fingertips, you know it's going in.
Eagles off to a dream start here early with a 7-point lead. Here's Lilly going with the tween. Great defense there. Kicks it out to Polite, and he can't finish. Surrey Cole from outside. Here comes the Eagles. Hammond decides to get things organized, pulls back. And Cole Long gets caught as he had his hands in the cookie jar there.
Yeah, and I think that that's a tough defensive possession for them. You know, I think that they had the advantage jumping out at the ball there. But, you know, this is one of those moments. Eagles, so much offense leads into defense for them. And I think when they get, you know, kind of a not everybody touching the ball offense, they go back down and kind of let that domino effect happen where they end up getting a foul defensively.
Well, we did notice something before the game, which looks like a team huddle, something we don't usually see with Newcastle. We kind of describe that as a players meeting, them discussing with each other how important this game is and for them to get out on track. So far, it's looked like it's working.
Yeah, definitely. You know, sometimes... Oh, we just had a quick foul there from Surrey on Mitch Clark. I think it was Isaiah Small, but no, definitely... Eagles need that, you know, I think from the coach's book, coaches can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a horse drink. And these are the moments where Eagles themselves as players have to put themselves together and find it in themselves to do it. And it's nice to see that they've made that adjustment to try to do it tonight.
Yeah, that's a great point. Here's Hammond. Again, going back to that screen and roll action. Ends back up in Taylor's hand. Hit his first one. Can't finish that one off. Here's Surrey. New reinforcements in. Teo, the veteran, going directly at it and getting straight to business as he flexes on the Newcastle Eagles defense.
Yeah, I think he liked that one. First one going downhill, it goes up and over, gets it in, and he gets to the free throw line for a three-point play. That's a good run from him.
I asked Teo before the game. We were once teammates in 2011, and I said, "You still playing basketball?"
I mean, you could ask Darius the same thing. You and Mr. Defoe did the same thing.
Exactly. Well, he said he still loves it, and he's still an impact player, still at this part of his career as he's able to finish with a three-point play there for Surrey. 11-7 as Mitch Clark coming off the double drag screen, unloads, can't finish. Here's Cholovinskis looking to push the tempo. Lawrence, who enters in as well. Inside the small where he turns it over, and Surrey, 3 turnovers out the gate so far.
Yeah, and I think that Surrey are kind of trying to match that really fast-paced energy that Eagles are trying to get out and transition on. And, you know, Surrey need to play at their own place, break Newcastle down. That's how they're going to draw fouls. That's how they're going to get easy scores.
Like Drake say, know yourself. Surrey so far this season has been great at being organized, the ball movement, getting the defense to shift and finding the open man. But tonight it looks like they're coming out and just a little bit eager offensively.
Yeah, and I think it's easy too. Eagles are a type of team that, you know, you want to match their pace because it can be so easy to let the game run out ahead of you. But Surrey just need to stick to what's working for them, control the tempo.
Here's Jack getting back inside, and he's 2 for 2 inside the arc.
Yeah, that little turnaround fadeaway is so effective for him once he's inside the paint.
And that's a good sign for Maceo when he gets off to a good start.
Yeah, definitely.
Here's Small. Rims out. So Verkande getting some early minutes here as well. Clark bottled up by Cholovinskis. Kande left open, right wing, splash.
I love that from Sue. When he gets off to an early start, the crowd loves it when he hits a 3 early in the game.
And for him this season, he's had a couple of opportunities, and what's really stood out to me is that now he feels like he belongs at this level.
Definitely. You see that how he shoots the ball. You know, it's coming off with so much more confidence. Like it's the right shot, not the last option.
Here comes the Eagles, an opportunity to go up to double figures and add to their biggest lead of the evening. 2 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Maceo step back, baseline, can't finish. Here's Lilly with a little shake and bake, goes back inside. Small looking to take advantage of the smaller defender, and he's fouled. And you can see Surrey's game plan tonight. If they are showing a heavy dosage of trying to get the ball inside and take advantage of the smaller defenders of the Eagles. So far, the Eagles have done a great job of containing it.
Yeah, and you know, that's, like you said, the three-headed monster that they've got is in that guard spot. So being able to slow that down, I think it's, you know, as you see fatigue start to settle in, there's going to be big minutes tonight for the Eagles roster. So making sure that they maintain that level of ball pressure so that those inside passes aren't as easy, put some pressure so it's end of shot clock for the bigs, and hopefully Isaiah Small can't continue to keep getting going.
Isaiah Small, 71% on the season. One of 3 Surrey players who has started every game so far this season. 4 double-doubles as well.
He's going to get a well-deserved break now.
Well, Wanko exits back in. Okafor as well, getting his first taste of action as well for Newcastle. Here's Taylor getting downhill, floats it up, can't finish. Here's Long. Taylor, and count the bucket.
Yeah, great read from Rayshon Taylor there. I think, you know, he knew that he had the kick-out corner there. Gus was in a great positioning to be able to get that little baseline pass, but I think he saw who he had in front of him, and he went right back up with it. That's a great, really smart play. And way to stay in the play, you know. He was out of bounds, knocking over a board, but got himself back in and gets a bucket.
And that's just a great recognition of understanding that the young Wanko was out of position, was inside the charge circle, so decides to attack. He completes the three-point play, which takes Newcastle to their biggest lead of the evening, 11. Here's Cholovinskis. He's bottled up and fouled by Taylor. I mean, how great is it seeing British players like Cholovinskis getting the opportunity in SLB? And that's one thing that you can commend the Surrey 89ers on doing, is that over the last couple of years, they've bought into developing their youth. But now it feels like they're combining development along with winning, which kind of reminds me of what London Lions is doing.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, it's great for British talent. I think it speaks really well to the growth of basketball in this country, being able to see young players come through pathways within, you know, their home country and be able to compete at a competitive level, not, you know, be on winning teams, and, you know, especially in the London Lions bag where we've got Euro Cup competition as well.
Well, he splits the difference there at the free throw line as we enter the final minute. Taylor gets some space. Kande unable to collect it. Here's Surrey. Lawrence looking for his first bucket of the evening. Steps through. Great defense by Long. He turns it over. Surrey's fourth of the evening. Kande going into the teeth again. Can't finish. Action beginning to pick up here in Virtue. See the turnovers there. Surrey with 4. Newcastle, one of the better teams in the league and taking care of the basketball, as the Newcastle Eagles with an opportunity for the final shot of the quarter. Looks like they'll go to a 1-4 low here. A little ghost screen with Hammond. And he's just so good at the elusiveness of Taylor, of being able to keep defenses off balance. And I love how they use Hammond to get that mismatch there on the older statesman's Lawrence.
Yeah, I think that was really good recognition of who was out there. And, you know, when Rayshon Taylor is able to get himself into the paint and play off 2 feet, he looks really good. And, you know, now we've seen him get to the line in the first quarter, and hopefully he stays with that form throughout this game. Because, you know, when they play like that, when they play fast, when they play the way that suits them best, it gives them leads. 19-10 here in the first quarter.
Well, 3 misses so far from the line from Taylor, who, as we mentioned before, usually excellent from the stripe.
There he goes.
Just have to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, we're talking about him too much.
Well, here's Lawrence. 1 second on the clock. He gets all the way to the rim, and that will count.
A guy like Josh Ward-Hibbert, if you're ever having a down day, if you're having a day where the ball isn't going through the net, Josh is someone who can come and pick that energy back up, and we haven't seen him yet.
Well, back to business as Taylor muscles himself back inside. There's Lawrence. Eagles have done a great job containing him thus far. Polite looking for the ball screen action, dumps it back in. Owenko. And there'll be a blocking foul on Maceo, as he didn't quite have his feet established there as he tried to draw the charge on the rolling Wenko. And I think that's the piece of the puzzle for the Newcastle Eagles that they need to clean up. Their initial defense is usually tenacious, but it's that back line, that second rotation, that if they can just tighten those areas up, they can start stringing up some wins. Cholovinskis is unable to unload from the left wing. Surrey cold from beyond the arc. 0 for 6 here tonight. Here's Long putting Wenko in a blender and creating a smoothie there.
Yeah, I love that for Cole Long. You know, great turnaround for him. Not just a shooter, he's got that back to the basket game too. He saw the young fella and got after him.
Great ball movement from Surrey. Again, Cole from the outside. Getting another opportunity at it. There's Teo. Dumps it inside. Cholovinskis. Long arm of the law, contesting that one. Eagles back on the move. Up 12 here in the second. Taylor gets the mismatch he wants. This is when he is so lethal.
Yeah, he pulled the ball out there. He saw who was in front of him, and he said, let me take my time. Picked him apart.
Here's Polite. And even Teo can't get things going as the outside woes for Surrey continue. I guess they're feeling the weather up north.
Yeah, it's been a bit chilly, but the sun was out.
It was out today.
So we should be able to see the basket.
Maybe they haven't quite warmed up to the environment here in the Northeast, making the long journey up to Newcastle.
You know what's weird though, Drew? I feel like it doesn't feel like a 26-12 game, if I'm being totally honest. I don't, maybe this is because we, you know, not to knock the Eagles, but we're not necessarily used to them being up like this in the first.
That's a great point there. You got to give their defense some credit here. It started out well, and maybe that's having a lasting effect on Surrey as Lawrence looks to change things, and he can't finish. As Kande is surrounded and harassed by 3 Surrey defenders, but the culprit will be Polite the third.
Yeah, and that's a good rebound to pull down there for Eagles. I think that's a big focus for them tonight, to make sure that they're getting as many possessions as they can, whether that's defensive rebounds to not give up second chance opportunities for Surrey, but also hunting those O boards to get, you know, put back second chance opportunities for themselves.
We mentioned it early, no Graham for Surrey. Huge miss for them as Jack gets to his midi. Can't complete. And for Surrey's perspective, they want to get back into striking distance in this one. What are the adjustments for the men in green?
Yeah, play at their pace. You know, you've got Polite the third, Lawrence and Lilly out there right now. I think between the 3 of them, that is such a dangerous lineup out there. Force Eagles into, you know, tough defensive decisions. It's not going to happen in short offenses.
And they've come to this set quite often that it looks very clear Newcastle has scouted well as Mitch Clark doing what he does best, looking to draw the charge, but he's able to get the steal here, picks the pocket. Maceo Jack on the loose and brings the house down, and lethargic here out the gate.
Do we blame the long travel day, or do we blame maybe coming off that cup semifinal loss?
Well, it is a long way as we see a 1-2-2 from the Eagles here. Throwing a little junk defense out here just to confuse Surrey, which it looks like it has. Shot clock getting low. Again, another turnover by the 89ers. Here's Taylor. Pull back, step back. Can't finish low, cleaning things up. Great takeaway there by Cholovinskis.
Yeah, that's a tough transition 3 there.
And small.
2-2 zone, but you throw a man back at him.
For Lloyd Gardner, Coach of the Month in January, getting that gold ball, and much deserved as well. Terrific 26 campaign for the Surrey 89ers thus far, but they got business to take care of here in Newcastle tonight as Jack able to get inside. Lovely offensive set by the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a pretty little grenade action there from Gus Okafor. Great read from Maceo Jack to go off that.
And a little bit more tempo to Surrey's offense as Lilly able to get the friendly bounce. It looked on that possession there, Surrey's offense was a little bit sharper. They've been going with this dribble weave action that they go on both sides with the handoff that ends up in a step-off screen. But it looks like Newcastle Eagles have scouted it very well, and it's forced Surrey to kind of go into some one-on-one action. But that one there was a lot more straight to the point.
Yeah, it is. It's straight to the point. Take the option that's given to you. I think on that one, you know, that little pull-up mid-range from Lilly is his shot.
Taylor put in small in the spin cycle as he goes up to double figures. Here's Lilly looking to get inside. Another Cholovinskis pulls up. Lovely touch there by the young fella.
And I think that when you hear Mark Studel yelling at them, good defense, sometimes you're going to give up tough buckets, and you've got to applaud when you get your defensive coverages right.
Here's Jack looking to work inside with the smaller Lawrence. Hammond unable to keep it alive. Here's Surrey. Lily back to small. And Ogadimbe showing off the young legs. Still got it.
Chirping back at him saying, I still got it.
Well, he asked me pregame, how do I stay in shape during retired life? I need to be asking him, how do you still have bounce in your late 30s? Here's Hammond. Catch and shoot from the corner. Can't knock it down. Here comes Surrey. You can slowly start to feel the momentum shift here. Bounce pass, drop off, small, count the bucket.
Yeah. I mean, you feel it. That's the air in the room.
Yeah.
That's the air in the room. You know, when Surrey gets out like that, the passing starts to look. That's why they lead the league in that. They are so good at getting the ball to each other, knowing where the other's going to be. That floor recognition is great for them. So they have the ability to play out like that. But this is where Eagles need to have some better shot selection so that they know that if they're not pulling down a rebound, they can at least get back and set up in their defensive possessions.
And that's the key. It's a lot of times their offense really does dictate their defense, because there's times where they take questionable shots, you know, untimely shots, and it allows teams to get out in transition and get easy opportunities, as we just seen there. Well, here's Surrey trapping in the backcourt. Eagles able to escape it. Oh, Taylor. With the scoop they do. Wow. Rayshawn Taylor in his bag, sir.
Yeah, there's a highlight play.
And Lawrence right back at you. Game starting to heat up here at Virtue.
Yeah, and I think that that's a foul. Cholovinskis looks at Rayshawn Taylor, really heating up, finding his confidence, getting his head downhill. So that's one to slow him down.
Rayshawn Taylor, 12 on the evening. I'm still trying to get myself together from that highlight play previously.
Yeah.
Great pass to Mitch Clark, backdoor. Cholovinskis going down. Looked like he might have got hit in the chest there. Well, Cholovinskis is in a really in pain there, but a great backdoor cut by Mitch. Let's take a look here.
Oh, yeah, I think Mitch Clark just elevated a little too high.
It looked like it was knee to rib.
Yeah, that's not a knee I would want to catch to the ribs.
Yeah.
So, ouch. But I would just like to talk about Rayshawn Taylor caught Mitch out of the corner of his eye and still threw that pass. So court vision from Rayshawn Taylor, beautiful there.
Well, he was on our Star Watch earlier, has been one of the best rookies in the league this season. Speaking of rookie, here's Lilly Jr. And Hammond getting on the floor. Great job by Surrey, but Small can't finish. And you can hear the appreciation from the crowd here. Yeah. As there's just a different level of urgency here from the Eagles when we talk about those little plays.
Yeah, and this is what you hope to see. You know, when one guy's diving on the floor, you see everybody else recover, be able to get into that help side, play disciplined defense. So, you know, it's not being rewarded with having to shoot free throws down the same end. Instead, you know, they end up drawing a foul. Now we get to go down and have a good possession offensively. So those things really build, and I don't think we've seen them be able to really stack positive plays like that.
Yeah, and those are the plays that we describe as winning plays.
Yep.
Here's Okafor versus Small in the paint. Great hands by Small. We'll stay here. 8 seconds on the clock. 2:32 here in the second quarter. Cholovinskis looks like he's okay after taking a shot to the rib. Taylor, step back corner, but Okafor. And that looked like it went off the back of a Surrey defender there. Referees talking it over. Let's take a look here. It looked like it went off his own foot.
I saw the foot.
I did see the foot.
But it's getting overturned. Eagles ball.
In real time, it did look like it came off the Surrey defender's back, but it looked like it came off Gus's
might
foot.
have kicked that. But you know what?
And this is where the league could use the VR system there just to take another look as Taylor. But Okafor picking up some loose change there.
Great follow from him there. And this is where he turns on the burners now. Full court defense after a score.
I was just going to say, you can see the intensity level from Okafor here tonight. A guy that looks motivated after coming off the bench here tonight, but just a little bit too antsy there on that possession.
Yeah, those little taps in the back when you get beat, those are tough ones. You know, if you get them, great, but if you don't, the worst thing you want to do is not foul when you get them. So, toughy for him there.
Okafor, another one of those mid-season acquisitions for Newcastle, along with Hammond. Lloyd Gardner looks like he's talking about that foot there of Okafor a couple of plays ago. Lawrence spraying out to the corner. Great ball movement there as Lilly can't finish things off, but you love the ball movement there from Surrey. Well, Lawrence trying to draw a charge there. Looked like he had position, but probably not enough contact there. Well, 1:39 here left in the second quarter. Eagles lead by 13. And this is what we talk about, finishing quarters. So important. This is an opportunity where you can take that lead to 15, 17, or from Surrey's perspective, you want to get it inside 10.
Yeah, and this is the point where Eagles need to make note of how this feels, stay in it, and be able to build that lead and not lose it so it's a close game.
Okafor off the mark there. Offensive rebound. Hammond can't leave him open. Splash.
Yeah, great shot from him. That's what offensive boards give you. Second chance opportunities lead to a wide open three, and they hit.
But an intentional foul by Polite the third on Taylor, and that will be 2 shot attempts along with the ball. And exactly how you mapped it up, finishing the quarter with an opportunity to push the lead up to 20.
Yeah, and those are those little mistakes and those frustration things. You know, when Eagles are able to play like this, those little deflections, those little steals, all those little things that build a team up, it makes it so that, you know, Surrey are starting to kind of fold. They're trying to force things. They're trying to make things happen, and this is where it leads you.
How much do you put on the tinkering with the lineup? Because Newcastle did go small. Taylor typically comes off the bench. Conway usually starts in the middle. They went with Long, and it seemed like they was a little bit scrappy coming out the gate, more so than usual.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that energy is going to be big for Surrey to have.
Taylor hang, showing the hang time.
Offensive boards, hunting defensive steals, that all matters in being able to build yourself back into wins.
Well, Rayshawn Taylor putting on a show here in the first half. The rookie stepping up. Here's Surrey desperately needing an answer as Small gets on the glass and finishes it off.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. Small coming out from the perimeter to get that rebound.
Well, Taylor, again, just getting downhill at will and finishing somehow, some way over the head with the left hand.
Yeah, someone get in front of that man. My goodness.
Well, I'm sure I can guess what the halftime talk will be about in the Surrey locker room.
Yeah.
How to contain Rayshawn Taylor. Meanwhile, Lilly Jr. skips his way inside.
Yeah, that's great positioning from Ogundembe there. He just pushed the help side out. Nobody there, and he's able to get his man downhill.
Well, here he goes, Taylor. 5 seconds on the clock. Over 2 defenders, and count the bucket. Rayshawn Taylor, this is your moment. We We are underway here. Back in virtue, Surrey starts with the action. You can already see a little bit more energy to their offense out the gate. Going back inside, just how they started. But Cole Long is a really underrated defender, and Wanko with the left lovely drop.
Yeah, that's a good read from there. He's able to finish over length like that, and that's all you can kind of ask of Cole to do to make him finish a tough shot over the top.
Here's Long. He can't finish. Surrey gets their stop. Out in transition, Long picks up, which will be his second foul of the evening.
Yeah, I don't hate that foul in transition there. Slow things down, not let them get out and get comfortable in transition early. So I'm okay with that foul from Cole there.
Yeah, most definitely. You don't want to give Surrey no ounce of momentum, especially out in transition.
Yeah, that's something Eagles need to get used to, is really, you know, they've got to lead, keep the lead, learn how to play with their foot on the gas.
Well, Eagles have done a great job of keeping that three-headed monster guard under control as Lilly looks to change things in Small. Again, been a pest on the offensive glass here tonight. His third offensive rebound. Jack steps through.
No more now. No more, let's go.
Well, Maceo, how would you describe his tenure here with Newcastle? He was picked up in early November time, came out the gate hot, hit a little bit of slow start there, and kind of been up and down so far.
Yeah, I'm searching my brain for a word right now. You know, I want to use the word that, you know, momentum, I think, has everything to do with how he plays. I think he has the ability to be really high momentum, but, you know, unfortunately, when he's been quiet, he's been really quiet, and that's what's frustrating. And I think I'd like to see him strike a little bit of a better balance.
Well, speaking of strike, knocks both of those down, which pushes the Eagles' lead back up to 20. Here's Polite. Looking to get some kind of momentum with Surrey's offense. This is the same action we've seen all evening, and Eagles have just bottled it up all evening long.
Yeah, and this is, you know, those really quick contact switches. You know, when you look at teams switching, there are things that you can pick apart, whether or not you're going to see if you can break down the middle of those switches. But these have been such good, tight, well-paced switches that Surrey have not even been able to see remotely a lane to the basket. And that's how you want to be able to play, especially when you're playing small.
Yeah, that's a great point. Eagles, probably one of the most switching teams in the league. And so when you're running an action as Surrey is, you're looking to try to get an advantage. But so far tonight, they haven't been, as we Hammond unable to get the spinner to fall.
Yeah, those toilet bowl rolls, he just didn't get the friendly one there.
Well, a flop warning there on Mitch Clark. Hammond, streaky shooter for the Newcastle Eagles. 1 for 4 here tonight. And Lane getting his first action here of the evening as Lloyd Gardner going deep into the rotation. Small steps back, knocks it down. And Small has quietly had himself a great evening here tonight.
Yeah, I like that little midi from him.
Long unable to answer back. Here's Lawrence, who's been quiet tonight as well. We have a unsportsmanlike foul on Rayshawn Taylor. I didn't quite see exactly what happened there, but
yeah, I think trying to fight over the top of that screen as he's running over, he just grabbed a shoulder as he was going over the top. So trying to fight over here to stay with Polite.
Oh, yes, great job, camera crew, getting that. Definitely grabbing the right shoulder of the Surrey player and kind of pulling it back.
Yeah, and this is where Eagles do need to respond, maintain that level of discipline offensively. Don't start going too fast. Play with pace. Pace does not necessarily mean we're going at 100 miles an hour. but play within themselves right now.
Well, this is the momentum or crease that Surrey needs if they're on a little mini 4-0 run here. See if they can take advantage, but again, Newcastle active hands, turning it over. Maceo Jack on the run. Mitch Clark stepping in, can't finish with the right. A little bit out of control there.
Tough. Sorry, I'm almost talking over you, Drew, because I just want to say to Mitch, don't foul right there. Those are those ones, you know, 90 feet away from the basket on those. Those cheeky ones you don't want to see. So
it builds up that foul count, which you've been doing a great job defensively all evening, and the last thing you want to do is send Surrey to the charity stripe. As Polite can't finish, gets his own rebound, sees a crowd, another turnover by Surrey. Here's Jack trying to step around. Great defense by Lawrence as he picks the pockets of Jack. Here's Lilly Jr. over to Small, and he finishes it, and Mark Studel will call. 89ers have found themselves back into this one. Huge possession by Newcastle. They've kept Taylor quiet so far this half. 2-3 zone. They're showing, and you don't want to leave him that kind of space, that's for sure. Don't forget about that guy.
Do not forget about that guy. And that's how you force a team out of a zone. You hit a three like that.
Just a poor mistake defensively. And nice rip there by Mitch Clark, again kicking up to Maceo Jack, who finds Long, and just like that, Eagles respond with a 5-0 run themselves.
Yeah, I love that defensive effort. Mitch Clark, as soon as he gets that ball in his hands, he's out to the races. Maceo following right there with him, and Cole as well.
And Small, again, this time from the left corner. 18 points for Isaiah Small. Knocking on the door of a double-double to go along with 8 rebounds. Here's Long over the long arm of Ling, and can't get the bounce. Here's Lawrence. Has just not been able to get going tonight. 4 points on the evening. Playing give and go with Ling. And they've turned the ball over 3 times trying to force feed it inside to the 7-footer Ling.
Yeah, that hedge from Cole there, when you stay out like that, he's able to put just that little extra ounce of ball pressure on the ball handler, where the right option probably is to throw it, but not if it's not going to be 100%.
Here's Taylor. 28 points in the back pocket here tonight, looking to add. Creeping up on a career high. Left-hand dribble, and Surrey dodged a bullet because they made a mistake on that coverage there. Lawrence running out of real estate. Great ball movement, and Surrey able to stick it in the corner. Lilly Jr.
Yeah, and that's when Surrey are at their best. When the ball, we get a paint touch, we get the ball, everybody sees the ball, we get a 3.
If you're Surrey, you just want to keep chipping away. You want to get yourself within striking distance going into the 4th quarter. If you can get this within single digits this quarter, that would be success. Here's Taylor. Again, flips it behind the head, and this time turns it over.
And that's that adjustment, bringing Ling into the game. You see with, you know, a really big tree in the middle there, Rayshon Taylor not seeing as much daylight down to the rim, so that's a good adjustment from Surrey to make Newcastle have to make some tougher offensive decisions.
Well, Surrey with an opportunity to pull back within 11 or even 10, and just a great rip-through move by Small, which will be Rayshon Taylor's 3rd foul. And this is why we talked about that early foul by Mitch Clark. It's costly because now Surrey's in the bonus for the rest of the quarter.
Yeah, 4 minutes of being in the bonus is a long time when you're trying to work your way out of a deficit.
Here's Lilly. Again, going inside the Ling. Ling throws it up there. Can't finish. Here's Newcastle. Great defense by Cole. Clark nowhere to go. Here's Okafor, steps around small, and that's what I mean about knowing when to go and knowing when to slow. Great job by Newcastle pulling it out, finding something better.
Yeah, and I think too, Gus got the little jab step. He was patient. Once he got Isaiah Small on his feet, that's when he goes.
Here's Lilly Jr. trying to put on his tap shoes, but a little bit too much dancing there in the corner. With Cholovinskis and Teo returns to the action as Surrey looks to match Newcastle and go small as Cole Long is at the 5 for the Eagles. 15-point lead for the Eagles. Here's Okafor sizing up small. And Cole Long with the fadeaway. Beautiful bucket. Polite back in the corner to Lawrence. Still can't get it going. Mitch Clark bottled up there. I'm not sure what Polite is arguing there. It looked like it was pretty clear from our angle that one of them fouled him.
Yeah, I mean, it was somebody. Somebody fouled there. Whether it was him or not, I guess, you know, is maybe up for debate. But that puts him up to 3 fouls. So.
But that is more of frustration. 2 points on the evening, 1 for 6. Again, Eagles doing a great job on Lilly, Lawrence, and Polite, keeping all 3 of those guys in single figures as Hammond gets the defense in there. Small says, send that back to your mama. Big time block.
Yeah, might be another highlight block. I love when defensive plays end up in the highlights for the week, though. That's a good block from him. Way to be there coming across on the help side.
And Small has been terrific here this evening. Clark, 3 seconds on the clock. Not much time for Long. Throws it up there. Surrey off to the races. Lawrence just loses it. Off to the races. Lawrence just loses it. And Okafor attacking a rim, and like that, Surrey with another opportunity in transition, and this could be a 4-point turnaround.
Yeah, and these are those, you know, you've said it a couple times now, knowing when to pull the ball out in that moment. Maybe that's one for Surrey where they need to come down. They need to get a long offense. They need to make Newcastle play some defense, sit down, wear them out. This is a roster that you've kind of got to wear down right now, where you know where you're working against a team that's got a short rotation. And, you know, Surrey just need slow down. You got a lot more time, and basketball, especially in this setting, is not going to be 1-in-1 possession.
Okafor, another one of those mid-season acquisitions. Really a utility guy that can do a lot of different things, but this time not unable to make his free throws. Final 2:20 here in the third as Teo steps around, drops it off to Cholovinskis. Here's Teo, stretches, and Teo turning back the clock. 7 points for the captain. If you're Surrey, you got to win these 2 minutes as Small. You got to win these 2 minutes as Small nearly picks the pocket. Fresh clock for the Eagles. Here's Kande. Drops it off to Jack, who spins around. And Newcastle doing a great job of just continuing to play. And again, another turnover by Surrey. Here's Hammond, 3-on-2 opportunity. Okafor drops it off to Jack. Great transition offense.
Great decision from Deon Hammond there. I think he shoot that transition three. He saw it. He gives the ball up. We get an easy layup. So I think pace of the game changes the decision-making for them. That's exactly how you want to see Eagles respond.
Here's Cholovinskis. Sticks it from the right wing.
A good poise from him. Great shot.
Final minute here in Newcastle. Hammond looking to attack the young fella. Turns it over. And Mitch Clark sacrificing the body, and it'll be an Eagles ball. And again, that's what we talked about earlier, about sacrificing your body. How many times have we seen an Eagles player on the floor tonight?
Yeah, it's showing kind of that grittiness, and I think that that's very much the cultural identity of, you know, who Eagles are. It's nice to see them get back to that way of going.
Well, they're showing a reflection of Mark Studel's words during your pregame interview, a fight.
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant.
I hope so.
Okafor. Well, Surrey with a 2-for-1 opportunity here, down 15. Eagles decide to put pressure here in the backcourt. Lawrence, heavily guarded by Kende. Lilly. Bleeding a lot of clock, 5 seconds small. He's had the hot hand tonight. Steps around Clark and can't finish as Small's able to bail out that offense that looked like it wasn't going anywhere on that particular possession.
This is where I worry. So now you've got Mitch Clark and Rayshon Taylor heading into the fourth, both on 3 fouls. And this is, you know, slowing down. We talked about it. Lilly Jr., Polite the third, and Lawrence being in those guard positions. When you've got your guards on 3 fouls going into that fourth quarter, Surrey are no stranger to clawing themselves back into games. So I think we're still fighting the flames a little bit.
Well, you might ask, why would you put Taylor in with 3 fouls with 18 seconds to go? But Mark Studel playing the numbers game with his best offensive player.
Yeah, I think so. I think ideally 1 possession of offense. Hopefully he doesn't have to play defense, and we use the whole shot clock going down.
And make sure you don't draw a charge.
Also that.
Isaiah Small knocks down both. 20 points, 11 rebounds, quietly having himself a terrific evening. With Surrey showing pressure in the backcourt. Here's Taylor at the end of the second. We saw the 3 ball over 2 hands. This time floats to his left, and that's why. No Josh Ward-Hibbert. Conway hasn't seen any action here tonight.
Nope.
So you can chalk this up as a reference point against one of the hottest teams in the league this season, but a hold on the Surrey.
That style of defense gets you, you know, when Eagles really do let their defense dictate how they flow into their offense, it looks a lot better.
Well, Taylor looking to tie or exceed his career high here in Newcastle. In SLB, Okafor getting Lilly in the air and taking advantage of the smaller frame guard. And Lilly answering back.
Yeah, good quick shot from him. I like that little midi from him.
Well, sorry, you want to gobble up a couple of stops here and not let Rayshon Taylor go left, because that's when he's at his best. And just the maturity just to get the defender in the air and draw the foul.
Yeah, and especially when all eyes are on you, when you've already got a 30-piece, you're into the fourth quarter, guys know that you're the one scoring. People are going to be sinking in, and his ability to play off 2 feet down there, he is a threat to continue facilitating, and other guys are knocking shots down. So huge play from him. He's really, you know, got it going on tonight.
Well, this free throw would tie His career high, October 10th, against London Lions. He had 32 points, and everything else here tonight would be extra credit. Here's Lawrence. Cholovinskis unable to knock it down. Well, Taylor matched up against Cholovinskis. 1-4 low. And this time, cool down. Andrew Lawrence knifes his way inside.
Yeah, that's a good bucket from him. Way to get downhill. He saw that open lane and went for it.
Here's Okafor. And that is... And those are the plays we talk about, where you want to pull it out and just get into your offense.
Yeah, pacing is important here.
Gus Okafor 6 points here tonight. Here's Taylor. Jack getting down to his right hand, and an easy call from the referee as he lowered the left shoulder. And Cholovinskis had a rough night tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think, you know, ribs, sternum. Yeah, he's really taking it.
You don't usually hear a sternum injury in basketball.
I mean,
esophagus.
Yeah.
What else?
Torso.
Well, he's feeling the wraps of a man's game with the tender age of 19. Here's Lilly. Surrey still knocking on the door. Lawrence has been quiet all evening. Here's Lilly. Easy call there. That'll be Sever's second foul of the evening. He will go take a seat. As it looked like Newcastle is bringing in their closing lineup here to put this thing to bed.
And if you're Surrey, you're looking at, you know, Mitch Clark and Rayshon Taylor both being on 3 fouls. That's a defensive matchup you've got to attack. And
Isaiah Small. I like his game.
Yeah, he looked at Cole Long and said, go ahead and move out the way.
Pork chops for dinner, please. Well, here's Mitch. Excuse me. Maceo Jack with the hammer. Here's Lilly.
But this is that hustle that I love to see. I don't think that I have seen Eagles be in this form where people are flying out of bounds, hitting the floor, sliding. Like, this is the version of basketball that I love to see from the Eagles, and I think that is so much, you know, more palatable for the fans as well.
And consistency is the word. Consistent throughout 40 minutes. You see it here for possessions, but they have really put in a great shift here tonight, especially defensively, as Small picks up the foul there in the backcourt.
And that's what you have to do when you've got a player who's, you know, had a full head of steam downhill in transition. You have to pick up those, you know, early in the front court fouls.
Well, Newcastle has been in control pretty much all evening, looking to close thing out and keep the Caledonia Gladiators at bay as they begin to sniff down the Eagles' neck there in 8th place. 9 teams in the league and 8 make it to the playoffs, which will begin in late April. But before then, don't forget about our Cup final in Manchester next month as the London Lions take on the Manchester basketball. That should be a goodie. Here's Taylor. 1 second on the clock, steps back. Yes! Rayshon Taylor with a new career high 35 points, and he has showed the entire arsenal, the whole bag here tonight at Virtue.
Yeah, no question about him being one of the ones to watch tonight. What a game and what a performance from him thus far.
Just an incredibly talented, gifted young man, and he's hungry for more. 38 will tie his professional high, as he had 38 in the EMBL. And right now, Rayshon Taylor,
he is eating.
He's hotter than fish grease right now.
Yep, he is feeling it.
Wow. Whatever, whenever, as Teo shrugs off.
Yeah, I mean, good veteran move from Teo Ogbenne there. You know, he's underneath the rim, sees Maceo Clark a little bit over. That's that cylinder foul where tough. He's on 4 fouls now, way to attack that, gets a bucket.
And Teo has had a terrific evening here, providing that veteran presence. But if you would have said before the game that Teo will be outscoring Lilly Jr., Lawrence, and Polite, I think if you're Newcastle, you would take that.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and that's a well-executed scout on the night. Mark mentioned that at the top of the game in his interview, that being able to do those things is so important at this level, and they've been able to execute.
Well, the Eagles during this losing streak has been giving up 94 points a game, and currently have Surrey sitting at 60. Well, you can see Taylor was going for that 40 ball.
Yeah, definitely. Little heat check there.
I don't blame him either. Keep attacking, young man. Let's take a look at there, looking to get in the passing lane. Safe.
Slide out of bounds, safe.
Teo unable to connect. Let's see if they give him his 40 ball. Well, I mean, no kind of resistance there from Surrey. And a slate tonight won't spoil it for you, but a lot of great games around the league. As this standings in the SLB is going to come down to the final weekend before we figure this thing out. London is pretty secure in their spot in getting the title, but everything else is up for grabs. And if you're Newcastle, you got to be thinking of trying to get out of that 8th spot. Here's Okafor, 10 on the clock. And Gus knocks it down.
Gus said, let me get involved.
Gus has been terrific from downtown so far this evening. And Lawrence has just not been able to get it going in his Virtue Motors debut as Taylor splits the defense and nearly. Well, an opportunity to put 39 points on the board. And we have not seen a 40 ball in this venue since last season. Trivia question for you.
Oh gosh, I know what's coming.
Who scored 40 points for Newcastle last season? It was on a holiday. I'll give you a hint.
I feel like it was Micah Caro.
That is correct.
Okay, good.
What day was it on? Which special holiday? Was it, as Rayshon Taylor is knocking on the door of exceeding that, currently sitting at 39.
Is it Halloween?
Nope.
No,
I'll give you one more shot at it. Small continues to do the dirty work inside, as he has been all evening long. It's not a national holiday, but it's a special day. It's a day of love.
It was Valentine's Day?
It was Valentine's Day last year.
Okay. Oops.
Micah Carew 40 ball in overtime against the Caledonia Gladiators. And right now, Rayshon Taylor with an opportunity to exceed that, and you got to think that they're going to try to force feed this in the last 4 minutes. Let's see. And if you're Surrey, you got to deny him the ball. I wouldn't even let him get it back.
Yeah.
You saw Lawrence there trying to deny on that offense there, and everything here on out would be 2 shots at the line as both teams are in a bonus.
Yeah, and that's Polite the third out the game with his 5th foul.
Just a rough evening for Ron Polite the third. Only 2 points, 1 for 6, 4 turnovers, and a night to forget in the Northeast. They just could never get going, the Surrey guards here tonight, Lawrence, Polite, and Lilly.
Yeah, maybe that's, you know, attributed down to the way the Eagles starting small, sending at the guards at them really heavy.
Yeah, definitely a great game plan in place for the Eagles, and just shows a lot about their character of how they responded after the debacle in Manchester Wednesday. Well, here's Taylor. Is this the moment? Sizing up Cholovinskis, going at him, spin back, fades to his left, and Rayshawn Taylor with a 40 ball. Put a bow on it.
Yeah, you can just hear how behind him the crowd is as well. It's great to see for him.
41 points by Rayshawn Taylor. And if I'm the Eagles, I'm looking for more.
Yeah, got to keep going. I feel like Surrey are playing into their
There's no
defense.
resistance there. Well, Taylor lacing it up from 40 feet. Rayshawn Taylor from the Eagles logo, 44 points.
Having himself a night tonight. He said, give me that MVP.
Wow, a killer on the loose here in Newcastle. And why not? Go for 50. Surrey doesn't seem to care.
Might as well.
Wow. Well, that is just not smart right there from Surrey, where you're going to give 2 points to Rayshawn Taylor there. And I'm sorry, from a pride standpoint, I am not just going to let a guy shoot and continue to add.
Yeah, you got to just step up and put your pride aside and just get in it and do it, you know.
Or deny him I'm not even letting him get the basketball.
Yeah, and, you know, those are the moments in these games, too. That's where you show who you are, especially, you know, teams that are going to go down the stretch, winning ways. This is where you see when you're losing like this, especially at this stage of the season. This is where you see where guys are and who's who.
Well, Rayshawn Taylor, I was just about to say, Marstuda, you bet not take him out.
I was thinking the same thing.
I thought he was coming, but
I saw the point, too. I said, uh-oh.
He's going for 50. I can't remember. I think the last time there was a 50 in this league, it might have been Victor for Cheshire. Well, you're going to pick him up at half court, and he already has 46 points. Give it back to him. Well, here's Hammond.
Ooh.
Blocked by Wenko. Well, 5 seconds on the clock. Whatever action this is, you got to think that you're going to put, well, Taylor's going to take it out here. Here's Okafor. Back to Taylor. 3 on the clock. Steps back. Heavily contested. And Lawrence lucky to not get a foul call there.
Yeah, very lucky. I didn't even see how that offensive board came back out either. But, yeah, Surrey are just not on good form here. But the young guy coming in and showing them just what can be done. Get yourself downhill. Head under the rim.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. The agent of Rayshawn Taylor is chopping his tape up as we speak. Well, a little sham god. Get into the cup and...
Are we cramping? Come on, Rayshawn. We need 50.
Well, he will go to the line for an opportunity for 48 points. And he's telling Coach, no, I'm good. I'm good. Well, I did mention at half, after I asked you about Surrey's adjustment, and I said, well, if they don't change how they cover him, he could have 50.
And, yeah, that was a right on the money.
I'm just saying.
Might be the day to buy a lottery ticket, Drew.
I never saw the coverage on Taylor change.
Yeah.
All evening. Well, you can hear a pin drop here in Virtue. I think he felt the weight of the atmosphere.
Everybody holding their breath right now, but free throws wise, he's left it on the left, like you said, some money on the floor there.
Well, 47 points for Rayshawn Taylor, the rookie. A minute 20 remaining. Big time bucket there. Nice shot by Smith White. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, because Surrey is still not trying to take the ball out of Taylor's hands. And Rayshawn Taylor, this place would have erupted.
It absolutely would have gone insane. Little heat check from them there.
Well, he's going to get another crack at it. You got to believe it.
So.
One more shot at it. Cholovenskis. Well, here's Smith. Well, they're going back to Taylor. Here's Lawrence. Stepping back over two defenders, and now this is the type of defense you probably should have played at 30.
Yeah, that would make sense. But here we are, 47 points, decent lead now.
Well, this is the last opportunity here. 33 seconds. Newcastle leads 95-72. And an intentional foul on Lawrence will send Taylor to the free throw line for an opportunity for 49 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Frustration foul. I mean, you're really struggling to slow someone down. These two have been going at it. There was already, the other way, an unsportsmanlike foul for the two of them as well. So, yeah, he did. He got the jersey there. So that's a tough one.
48 points. Yeah. 49 points.
My goodness, Rayshawn Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Just for context, Surrey has 72.
Yeah, oh gosh, what a stat.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I've ever seen 51 in our league. I've seen 50, and I've been part of this league for over 20 years, and Taylor somehow gets blocked. I'm shocked he was able to get in the paint. Well, they turned over here, blocked. I'm shocked he was able to get in the paint. Well, they turned over here. Here's Taylor for a chance for 51 points. Rayshawn Taylor. Wow.